can't let Republicans just randomly grab migrants and ship them to random cities as a political pawn.
Here we go.
That stuff ain't cool, man.
That ain't it.
So
it's not it.
Did you see they actually gave him like fake pamphlets?
Yeah,
that it said like everything. You know,
it's like all political pawn stuff, man. It's horrible.
And because they asked Ron DeSantis, "Will you be sending any of them to Texas?" And he's like,
"Yeah."
Like, well, why not? It's like,
well, he's taking them. Well, he's taking them from. Here's the messed up thing about it. He's Florida's governor, right? And he's probably going to be running for president.
Oh, definitely.
In the next
cycle,
coming
for
up.
Sure.
Okay.
And no, he literally took migrants. Now these are asylum seekers from Venezuela, and they have there's some sort of a USA precedent to where they have they can stay in the USA till at least I think 2024 or 2025. So they're essentially what we would call legal immigrants, even though I think the entire idea of illegal immigrants is a bad one that I do not subscribe to. But
that's neither here nor there.
It's neither here nor there. So he went and he took 50 migrants, asylum seekers, if you will, and he took those asylum seekers and he shipped them, flew them out to Martha's Vineyard, dropped them in Martha's Vineyard, and Martha's Vineyard is the place where a lot of like rich political people live, right? The Clintons, I guess, vice presidents there, I think. Obama was there, lived there. I don't know if they still do, whatever. But it's not really like a place that is like available to like take in migrants. It's a very small. I think there's 15,000 people on the island total, anyways, right?
Everybody got paper.
So it's one of those things. Like if he would have flown him into like a blue city that could have taken care of him, it would have made more sense, right? But from this aspect to where like he's making a political pawn with real people's lives, it's just disgusting. It's super disgusting that somebody that is a political person. I hope they file charges on him, and I hope he gets convicted.
But it's
crazy.
There's just this level of, you know, because the thing is, I don't consider myself to be a Democrat. But I try to have a progressive mind state, you know, and if you feel like that is more aligned with the principles of the Democratic Party, you know, that's on you. But I'm just talking about my particular mind state and how I see certain things in the world. Right. And I just feel like with now conservatives, it's not about policy. It's like expressing a level of cruelty that I don't understand. And the thing is, this wasn't always the Republican Party. Right. There's always been a inkling of that, but it wasn't the entire party. You know, this is the same party that, you know, at one point was trying to sell us on compassionate conservatism. Right. You know, and now it's just like these people are just yelling "F you" out of their, you know, out of their pickup trucks, and this is who runs the party now, and they will do anything to kowtow to that. That the people who ran up in the Capitol, you know, who haven't been convicted and sent away yet, they want those people's votes so bad that they will be as cruel to their fellow man as possible to make it seem like they're serious. Yeah, and I you know, like I said, these aren't even the Reagan Republicans. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, it's different.
It's something different that I don't recognize, but at the same time, I'm like, wow. You know, when people say, you know, America's better than this, I always say, no, we're not. This is exactly this is a segment of America. This is exactly who we are. Now I'm going to say we.
Well, not what you know what I mean.
But we as a nation.
We as a nation. I mean, because this is what we have put forth to the world. Yeah. You know, because people see is like, and people, you know, this is why sometimes I'm surprised people even want to come here.
No, for sure.
Is this the level of cruelty that people are willing to use, and you know, just based on political posturing?
The disregard for certain things is like what you were describing. Is in my mind, I'm thinking this is not it at all.
I mean, think about it. I mean, the posturing, right? So there's no empirical evidence that any type of immigrant is bad for the United States. It's all a net positive for any type of immigrants, even if they're over here, quote unquote, illegally. So when you realize that, when you get hit with that empirical data, the only other thing that you can really go towards is the fact that white people in general don't like people to invade white spaces, and it's
tough.
Yeah, but they feel like America in general is a white space
for sure, which kind of goes to my point, right? So, you know, like these are technically legal asylum seekers, and so they should be afforded the benefits that any type of person who is seeking asylum should receive. And there were some of these people that they shipped off, and Governor Abbott did the same thing, to where, like, you got to realize when you're over here trying to meet your deadlines of legal immigration to be a migrant or towards the United States, like 98% of all people that are coming over here meet their court dates.
Right.
It's not like people are not, they're, people that are going towards, like, following that path
on up and up,
are doing the due diligence that they need to.
Right.
So when you take somebody and you ship them to a different country, or a different city, you don't tell them where they're going, and then they miss their court date.
And then you can say, oh, these people are over here breaking the law.
Wow. It's just a continual cycle of just Republican conservative stuff that really is just a talking point. It's really just political pawn stuff. And it's really, it's foul, man.
I mean, well, since we're there, I mean, look at what's happening in Mississippi right now.
Yeah, the water crisis.
But it's not only the fact that it's the water crisis, but it's exacerbated by the fact that the money that's earmarked, that comes from the federal government, because Mississippi, like most southern quote unquote red states who are all about pull yourself up by their bootstraps, they take more from the federal government than they pay in as far as taxes are concerned.
Right.
Same thing for Kentucky, Arkansas, all these places.
Almost every red state.
Yeah.
All the tax money comes from blue states.
Yes, exactly. So
blue cities, really. But
and the thing is, the money that's earmarked for infrastructure, making sure people have clean water, making sure people don't get kicked out of their homes, making sure that children don't go hungry. That money went to making sure that Brett Favre's daughter had a new volleyball coliseum.
Talking about foul,
and see, this is a sort of thing.
He was awful. That's beyond foul what he was doing.
And the thing is, we won't even get Brett Favre out of here. Like,
they won't.
They'll be like, hey, remember, like, I'm just glad John Madden's not allowed to see this.
You gonna see Brett Favre on a what's one of his sponsorships?
Wrangler.
Yeah, you see him on a Wrangler commercial.
Yes.
I don't see any of this altering anything that he's made off the field or whatever post retirement. I doubt it.
This is just, like I said, for all the money that Mississippi receives from the federal government, they are the third world. They are a whole third world country in the United States.
It's one of the poorest states.
It is, if not the poorest state.
Okay, I stand corrected.
Like, it has the lowest. They lead the country in COVID deaths. They have the highest infant mortality rate in the entire country, and they have the lowest life expectancy. Like, it is literally like there are places in third world countries that you would do better to live in than Mississippi, and a large part of it is because they won't help a lot of the poor people there, the state government, which is completely run by Republicans, because, like, some of the poor people, like most of the poor people in Mississippi, are white, but because some of them are black.
I got plenty of family in Mississippi.
So because some of them are black, like, that's why you can get white people to vote. These people need health care and the assistance that comes from the money that goes into their welfare system. They need it the most, but because they think some black people might get it too, they'll be like, nah, we don't want nobody to get it. And that's the crazy thing. They would rather. There are people in Mississippi who are like, well, Brett Favre is he's a good guy, and his daughter deserves a nice.
Sure is.
It doesn't matter that there's somebody's child that went hungry because Brett Favre's daughter needed a volleyball coliseum. That's okay to them. And so, like, this is the mentality we're fighting. So, like, that's why when I see things like this, and the fact that in America we could tell people there are places in the United States of America, the land of the plenty, the land of opportunity, where they're just telling people, hey, make sure you close your mouth when you take a shower because the water is toxic. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. And when once again, the money is there for them to fix it, but they just won't do it.
Shout out to Shannon Sharp too. He destroyed Brett Favre, and I laughed the entire time. Yeah, Shannon was cooking, dude, and rightfully so. Larger schools as well. Everybody down there. It's not just that, because
Jackson is literally it's the capital, it's the population center of Mississippi, but it's also the one Democratic district.
Yeah,
and so they're like, we're not going to help them.
Nope.
It's a majority black city. That's the
I got family in Jackson.
That's kind of the legacy that they're holding on to in that particular part of the country, to where it's like, we'd help them, but yeah, you know how we feel.